Ontario, some incredible action on Chicag Lake. The walleye were big and hungry, and the action was fast and furious.
This is a better walleye right here. Whoa! Whoa! Another good fish. Nice fish. This lake is just full of fish that size, isn't it? Yeah, it sure is. There you go.
On today's episode, we'll pick up the action as Mark and Brad hope to spend the day concentrating on some of the excellent pike fishing on Ontario's Chicag Lake.
Nice. This fish thinks he's big. Oh, it's because now we know why. The old pike run. Teasing me, thinking I've got that big walleye. We've caught a lot of pike in this size and a little bigger even.
Yeah, they like hanging off these walleye reefs, that's for sure.
Well, as you say, the bait fish are here, so easy pickings for a fast predator fish.
Oh, you might want to check your
Check
line there.
And those fish are a fun fight on the spinning equipment.
Oh, they sure are.
You know, big pike are fun when you're targeting them with big, heavy bait casting equipment or whatever you're targeting them with, but these, you know, fish that size are a lot of fun when you're jigging for walleye.
As we said, we're in southern Ontario's Chicag Lake, courtesy of Moose Point Lodge, located 140 miles from Fort Frances on the Canadian border. Chicag Lake is approximately 10,000 acres of crystal clear water, offering excellent fishing for smallmouth bass, walleye, and northern pike.
No, I think it's a little one. It just had a good first run. Now it's having a really good second run. Wait. Oh, nice pike.
Northern. Got a perfect hook set on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a good release right there. Those are the best kind. You don't have to get near the teeth.
Yeah.
You don't have to handle them. That's the best kind right there.
I thought he was flayed out there, but
That was a good
you
jump.
never seemed to know.
Yep.
Just, there we go.
Whoa.
Ooh, there we go.
Little better fish.
That's
That was the deep inhale. That was no, it was just boom. Wait. Might be able to release him in the water.
I can grab it.
Thought I was gonna be able to get my jig and just let him go. Let go. Perfect hook set right there.
Oh, yeah.
Him.
Pop. There, around his jaw.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. Pike. The way he smacked that, I thought it just kind of sucked it in. I thought it was a good walleye.
With the pike fishing heating up, Brad and Mark head for shallow water, where they hope to up the ante by tossing topwater plugs onto rocky points. After leaving the main lake, we've entered a narrow inlet that opens into a small pond with plenty of vegetation and the rocky structure that pike love.
I think we'll pick out some of these rocky points and we'll cast around for some pike first of all.
Okay.
And then we'll try the same thing for some bass. They'll probably both be holding in kind of similar areas. Some rocky points adjacent to some deep water.
Great.
That's what we're looking for. And they'll move up into that stuff to feed. So if they're on the feed, they'll move. Oh, whoa! They'll just come up into this stuff and.
Apparently we're in nearsighted bay because these fish just can't quite get it. Walking a dog. No, there's a big pike just laying there staring at this.
Oh, it's nice water. It's nice, you know.
Yeah. And it's just
About 8 feet deep here, and it drops right off in there.
There's a big swirl right under that bait, sitting right back in those stick-ups.
Oh.
There, he got it. Got it that time. Well, he got it that time. He didn't miss it. He missed it. Oh, took me down the weeds. I lost him. What a fun little bay. You could hit these little pieces of water all day long if you like chucking and winding. A lot of fun. It's that anticipation of a strike, I think, when you put that bait in that structure and you know that there's fish laying in there. And you see a swirl or something, you just know it's coming. But we'll throw back in that area.
You know?
Yeah, third time's a charm, or fourth. Look at
Little
this
guy.
Well, I gotta admire his courage. He's not afraid to tackle the big baits. That's actually a different one than was coming out of the water after it. That one coming out of the water was not much bigger than the bait.
Well, the other one was smaller.
Oh yeah, much smaller. Half that size anyway. Thank you, sir.
Sure thing. There we go.
If a Canadian fly-in adventure is in your future, let our experts guide the way. Give us a call at 1-800-346-8747. Coming up, we'll join Team Cabela's Ben Johnson in South Texas as he fishes for Texas largemouth. Next on Cabela's Outfitter Journal. Cabela's Outfitter Journal is brought to you.
I tell you, this lake is just loaded with these 3-pound fish. That one may be a little heavier than 3. Just gorgeous fish, and they're really biting aggressively. I like it all, man.
I'm gonna scoot right in front of you and try and get me one of them.
You bet.
There we go.
Got him. Look at this, a double. Can't even get mine off the hook before you catch one.
That one didn't even get to the bottom and he nailed it.
Oh, nice fish, too. Beautiful fish.
Welcome to South Texas. We're approximately 80 miles west of San Antonio, near the city of Uvalde. It's late fall, and as the weather in South Texas cools off, the bass fishing heats up. We're with Team Cabela's Ben Johnson and Texas guide Mike Hastings.
There's one.
There you go.
There he is. Man, he ate it good, didn't he?
Same bait every time. He just inhales at both hooks.
Both hooks. That's what you like when you're fishing a crankbait. Well, aren't they beautiful? Real dark colors. Good looking, healthy fish. All right. Let's see if we can
Now
get-
we're told the forage, your bait is matching the forage here.
Yeah, this lake has a lot of sunfish and crawfish, and this little Dig-It crankbait is a real good imitation of a sunfish. You can see the chartreuse belly and the kind of bluish back, a little bit of orange on the throat, never hurts. Real good sunfish imitation, and the fish in this lake definitely are feeding on sunfish. Here's another one. Boy, it's a good one. Man, he hit that little Dig-It, Ben.
It's a good looking fish.
Came right off that bank where those little stair-step ledges are with all that wind blowing on it.
Yeah.
He may be hooked a little better than I thought. Hooked in the bottom lip. There we go. Got him. Look at that, one hook in the, did you see that? It just fell out. One hook in the bottom lip. Actually, I guess one of those from that belly treble hook was in him also. Nice fish though. Look at the mouth on that fish.
And he was right up against the bank.
Right up against the bank, that wind-blown bank. Hit that little crankbait. When we get up here to that fence row, be sure and throw one like parallel to
Yep.
it.
Oh,
Got him?
yeah.
Oh, he came up out of that grass and ate that
Yeah.
spinnerbait.
No, I got big O on.
Oh, you put the big O on.
Yeah.
Awesome. That ought to catch some bigger fish. Was that the first cast with the big O?
No, that was about the 5th or 6th cast with it. This is actually a rendition of the original Fred Young Big O. We worked with Cotton Cordell in duplicating the action, the sound, the weight, everything about the Big O. And I think that we've done a pretty good job with it.
For information on any of our guides or gear, log on to Cabela's.com/TV. Cabela's Outfitter Journal is brought to you.
He's some decent fish.
What's that girl gonna do?
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
Nice looking fish. Gotta dig it.
Man, they like that Dig-It crankbait, don't they?
They've been after it today.
Got it.
I think you got that right color.
Man, we have caught several nice ones on that little crankbait. That is really, I just can't say enough about this bait. It casts so well to be so small and compact. We're really putting it out there on this 10-pound fluorocarbon line. Just casts great, it tracks perfectly true. These fish are really liking it out here. What a beautiful bass.
Here we go. There we go.
Got him? Good one?
Oh, he's
Yeah, nice fish.
all right. God.
Oh,
Hit
yeah.
like a Mack truck.
He hit it good.
Oh, yeah. Another nice Texas bass. That's a nice bass.
Oh, yeah.
This just makes me all the more excited. We got 2 new stores coming to Texas, one in Buda and one in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Man, I'm looking forward to that Buda store. That's about 15 minutes from my house.
Just gives me all the more reason to come down here and visit the store.
When are
Call you
those?
up and say, let's go fishing.
Exactly, exactly. When are those stores scheduled to open?
I think tentatively right now, Dallas Fort Worth is May of 2005,
Uh-huh.
and the other one, Buda, is in June of 2005.
I've already got my Cabela's credit card, so I'm earning points.
There we go.
Got him?
Yep.
Good. All right, man, he ate that Senko, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But this is not a Senko.
Oh, it's not?
No. This is actually a new addition to our Aqua Glow family. And he inhaled it. It's called the Glow Stick. What makes it different is this thing right here. It's chock full of salt, and it's got a ton of garlic in it. But the big thing is it's impregnated with a glow. It's a glow plastic, and it'll actually glow in the dark. Now, you get it underneath the water, and you're gonna get more color out of it. Darker days, early morning, late evening, darker water, that's where it's really gonna produce.
Here we go.
Came running over the trees.
Yeah, he just grabbed it and swam off with it while we were talking. Boy, these fish have a lot of fight in them, don't they?
They're healthy fish.
Yes, they are. That one absolutely devoured it.
There we go.
Oh, nice fish. Nice fish.
Again, he's just nailing it.
Isn't that great?
As you let that bait settle down on the bottom, just give it some short little jerks and just pump it up just a little bit. And when she starts to fall again, that's exactly when he hit it. That time I felt it. He was talking about jumping the line, but I could feel that one. Nice healthy bass.
There he is.
There you go. Is that a nicer fish?
Yeah, it's a nice one. Man, are they ever thumping that thing. Tell you what, there's no question when you have a bite. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go.
That's a nicer size fish.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. And he
just
hit that creature bait and swam off with it. How
He
about that?
inhaled it.
Check that out. He loved it, too. He just absolutely devoured it. What a beautiful bass. Golly, that's what fall fishing in Texas is all about right there. See you later.
For information on bass fishing in South or Central Texas, contact Mike Hastings at getbitfishing.com.
There is no gift like the one that comes at the end of a fly rod. And no finer present can be had than the art of the sport itself. The lessons learned as a child become the fluid marriage of power and grace found only in the rod and in the fish. But there is a place for those whose desire to fly fish exceeds their opportunity to do so. Tucked away in a valley of central Pennsylvania, surrounded by some of the best trout water the Northeast has to offer, lies State College, home of Penn State University. Here, men and women of all stripes learn the finer points of the sport from Mark Belden, instructor of kinesiology, and yes, of fly fishing. In his 8th year as head of the storied PSU fishing program, Belden has a unique resource at his fingertips, the combined experience of his 3 predecessors. George Harvey, who started the program and took it into the early 70s. Joe Humphreys, second in line and caretaker through 1989. Vance McCullough, who held the reins until 1997. Together, the 4 stewards of the Penn State fishing program have grown in stature as cornerstones of American fly fishing.
How did you start the class for the faculty, George? How did that happen?
Dean Watts, I had gone fishing with him a couple times. When the dean found out that I could tie my own flies and teach casting, he had me start. He was the one that got the first class started.
Now, were these professors that you would have, that
These
you
were
took
professors.
classes from them,
Yeah.
did you?
Yeah, well, it didn't hurt me any because I had all these professors, and if I had them in class, I got all A's.
Actually, the first time I ever took the class, I scheduled fly fishing first and then made the rest of my schedule around fly fishing because I wanted to have it so bad because the class fills up so fast. I made my entire schedule around that one class.
You know, we have Spring Creek, we have Penns Creek, Little Juniata, all in the area.
You get credit for learning how to fly fish, so you can't beat that.
I want to give you tools to work with, that you go out there and you say, okay, I'm just not going to follow a stocking truck and jump in the creek where they put the fish. You're going to fish and be able to fish from top to bottom, to interpret what the stream's telling you, to use that to your advantage, and you're going to build experiences.
I've actually taken the class like 4 times. I've taken it a bunch of times because there's so much to know in fly fishing. You just can't learn it all in one class. And the more you take it, you keep learning more and more, and it adds up so that eventually I'll be a good fisherman.
We're going to get you all those puzzle pieces. You're going to be able to go in there and you're going to say, the cycle today for the insect is that it's still a nymph in the morning. It's going to start to get active, and as the sunlight starts to warm the water up, it's going to hatch off. I don't see anything right now, but I know those insects are in there because I turned the rock over.
And on this rock, I see here's a little mayfly nymph here.
I heard that there was this class. I thought it was a good opportunity to really learn how to do it the right way and get a good background on it.
What you want to do is break the stream down into different components that will allow you to say, okay, I can fish this way and try to eliminate water. Okay, they weren't in here. I'm not catching what needs or the trout are looking for today. They're not in this type of habitat. You go to another type of habitat. You change your technique, you change your terminal tackle, your flies and so forth that imitate the insects, and then you move on to another area. You start to catch fish, you replicate what you're doing until that changes again.
It's like Mark says, piecing the puzzle together. And those puzzle pieces is the academic part that he teaches us. Like, you know, you have to find out what mayflies or what types of insect are on the stream. I mean, there's just a culmination of just a bunch of things that you have to come together. And without that academic part that we learn in the classroom, you know, a lot of people wouldn't be able to be successful on the stream.
One of the things that I've learned is you can only take people so far before you hovering over them actually becomes a detriment. And I do that sometimes because I'm very relaxed when I fish for myself. But I get really nervous for you guys because I want you to catch some fish.
If you can see that larger dark rock that seems to be flat,
Yeah.
okay, he's right in front of it there. So
I'm sure you'll see some fish down there. Paradise is just loaded with fish. There's places you can get, you can see the fish. You'll have confidence that they're in there. I have confidence that you're going to be able, most of you will be able to catch some fish.
A lot of people are jealous because they say, well, I want to go fishing for...
All right, we're going to try to get this, get a measurement here and try to get it into some deeper water. We'll start it out there. Again, I've spooked a couple of fish. There's one right there. And the fish are starting to get a little active here. And again, we've got a little brook trout, and he took the bottom fly, guys. He took that little beadhead muskrat. These fish in here, again, I stepped right in here and we had about 3 or 4 of them jump out of here. So what you want to do is always fish before you step in and work on that approach. Try to handle them as little as possible. We'll make just a few more casts since I'm this close to the good water. This is like the end of a 4-hour lecture, and you're ready to go to lunch or something. So, and then we're going to let you fish. Try to get it into the prime area, hit the edges first. Watching the end of my fly line, it stops, give it a flick. Work it in here. Just missed another one. There's another fish. I tell you, this is a whole lot of fun. It's a shame you guys aren't fishing. But this is one of our wild brown trout that we talk about here from Spring Creek. Nice coloration to white fins. Again, catch and release, ideally with that no barb on there. Just turn that over, laid them in the water, and it was out. You guys have had some good 6 or 7 weeks of class. Let's see if we can get into some fish.
The first accredited course was in 1947. And that's when it became an accredited course.
Right.
And my sister, Marty Humphreys, was in that class, the very first one. And I was thrilled that she was in the class because she had to buy a textbook, Ray Bergman's Trout, which became my Bible also. And so I got to read that book. And on the field trips that George took those students on, there were several girls. And the pictures portrayed
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing the old pictures. I just thought it was real interesting. I think this class got way ahead of its time, maybe, in terms of integrating men and women in class like that.
Yes.
The fly that we're going to tie this morning, introduce you to fly tying, is something we call a muskrat nymph. And what it is, it's going to be an imitation of a little bug that's in the water called a crest bug or a sow bug. Lives on the bottom, in the rocks. It really likes rocks with algae and weeds on it. As many different fly tiers as there are, there's probably people that have tied that do things a little bit different. Again, what we're trying to do is give you good sound basics, and this is good sound basics. Lay that hook thread across there, right angles, and we're gonna wrap over the top away, underneath towards me.
All the tying skills that I learned in class are a big help, so I don't really have to buy flies ever. I just tie all my own flies.
By the time you get done, as you get a little experience, this will be about a 2-minute fly or less.
When I joined the class, I learned how to tie myself, and it added a new aspect to the sport, which was the more creative and artistic aspect of creating the flies.
You're going to end up tying so well that your buddies, your fly fishing buddies, are going to want to mooch flies. That's the one thing that you'll regret about this, that you'll tie these beautiful flies and they'll end up snitching them from you.
The idea of not having to buy the flies, but to be making them myself, I think is pretty cool.
One of the things about using that underbody, show and tell. See the butt end of that?
But the tying, he is very specific on your detail with your tying.
This is the bulkiest one that you're going to tie. When we go to a mayfly, and it's going to be a dry fly up on the surface, we're going to make this delicate, slender body. And if you can't smooth that out, if you can't smooth this one out, it's going to be difficult for you. So from the very start, I'd like to see you get it properly.
I guess you just have to look at it as it's part of what you have to get through to do the part that you want to do, the fun part. Sometimes it gets a little repetitive, but that's how you learn too.
Like any other major college campus, life proceeds at a relatively unhurried pace, as do the students who gather at and traverse the green pastures of campus lawns. And PSU has an outlet for more primal activities as well. The college athletics program is spearheaded by the famed and much beloved by the student body Nittany Lions football team. But there is another fierce predator that roams the wilds of central Pennsylvania, a magnificent animal that dominates in a more serene playing field.
From the time he wasn't very tall, I'd take him fishing, and I enjoyed teaching somebody else, and Joe was a good student.
We had a lot of fun together, and
That's
he
for sure.
embarrassed me more times than I'd like to admit.
I bet she taught you a few things.
He taught me a lot, and he taught me the hard way. He would take fish behind me, under me, around me, in front of me.
Joe taught me much the same way you taught him.
Yeah.
Tough luck, buddy. If you didn't get it this time, watch it again. Here comes another one. So I see where that came from.
Yeah.
Any time now, the fish can start on us here. You getting any activity at all, John? Nope. Okay, you work your way down through there. And let that... Are you hitting the bottom at all down here in the deeper?
I'm starting to, yeah.
Okay. If you stand right in here, you can get it in that current, and it may sweep down right across the bottom there. I'm going to put a different color streamer on here and see if that makes a difference. Actually, what I'll do is I'll go back and fish where above you a little bit, just a second. Oh, here we go.
There it is.
There's a fish. There's a fish. I think I knew if we were persistent. Sure wish you'd have had him on, but let's see if we can. We'll try to steer him right in here. I got. Looks to be a nice brown trout, John.
Yep.
He's moving a little, pretty good still. You know, I don't want to get him too hot here. Change the angle on him. I don't want to get him on too short a line. Here we go.
Nice fish.
Now there is a nice wild brown trout. What I like to do is to get people started, and when I give you some ideas of what to do, and then I like to leave people alone usually if I can. It's just like when you learned how to drive. When you learned how to drive and your dad took you, you probably did okay, but when he left you alone, you learned more that first trip you went out by yourself. And it's the same thing here, I think. There's only so much you can learn from the books and in class. Again, nice brown trout. He's been in here a while.
Yes, he has.
He took the little egg drifting behind there. Let him. There he goes.
Yep.
Huh?
Nice fish.
Okay, teamwork. You can just twitch it a little bit, so it looks like we got that emerger on. Ah.
There it is.
Oh, there we go. Huh?
Yep.
Keep that rod up if you can. There you go. Yeah.
A lot of work.
Huh? That's a nice brownie. And he took the...
He took the worm.
The worm, yeah. Look at that. A little bit of color maybe, huh?
Yep.
Nice little brownie.
Like that.
Fall colors. Let's see if we can get the hook out. There he goes.
There he goes.
Okay, you gonna repeat that?
Let's try it.
Okay, well, it worked that time, so let's try it again. I mean, there's probably a few more like that out there and some bigger ones. So again, we just keep trying some different things, and if that is what it takes, we'll do it. Ready?
I am.
Good job.
George's format, because it was a very fine format, and it worked very well. And so the lectures, the lab work was the fly tying. I think George and I talked about this. We tried to guesstimate. I think George taught approximately 36,000 people how to fly fish. And I'm just a lowly come behind gentleman with about 10,000. And so we put a lot of thousands of people on the stream, but look at the pleasure I hope that we've given them. And that's the bottom line.
Says it's a good thing to do with my dad, and he actually doesn't know how to fly fish, so he's excited for me to learn so that I can teach him. And then he says that he's going to take me to Alaska fly fishing. I think probably because he wants to see Alaska, and it would be a good excuse. But I'm willing to take him up on that. I think it'd be fun.
Just kind of flick it down below, like.
Right now?
Yep. Like no, flick it down below.
Way.
There you go. Now you got it straightened out, and toss it right above this rock up here. I've been teaching for 8 or 9 years now, and kids will come back and they'll come and they'll tell you that it's the best class that they've ever had on campus, that they continue to fish, and I expect that they'll fish the rest of their adult lives.
With George Harvey and Joe Humphreys and all those guys, it's just nice to know that they started it here, and they started the class and just got fly fishing to a point where the university cares about it.
Patience, oh! Don't get him too short. Just back him out to the bank. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, there are your basketball, volleyball, swimming, those kind of things, but the opportunity to take something new and exciting like fly fishing is amazing. It's one of the things that Penn State has to offer and other schools don't.
Oh, it's under. Yeah. Watch your.
I saw it go under.
Okay. Only a matter of time. Get a little line out there.
Yeah.
So I get anxious to see you guys catch a fish. Oh, you just took it.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't even feel it.
Yeah, I just saw it come up. I didn't see the fly. It was right there. It was right there.
I'm actually just hoping to like learn something that I can take with me and actually grow up actually doing it, because I thought about it and I actually really like it a lot. So it's kind of fun.
Got one.
It's something I like to do so much, I just make sure that I have time to do it and don't really worry about everything else, which actually might make me work harder in my classes and study, so that like I know if I get all my work done, I can go and hit the stream at the end of the week.
Yeah, I told you as soon as I leave you alone. Huh? Very good.
Yep.
Well, I guess maybe we don't want to switch just yet, huh?
No, I don't think so.
You can learn a lot by watching a guy like this, how he approaches the stream and how he sort of, solves all the mysteries and can catch fish as a result of that, when the rest of us are still trying to figure out what fly to put on.
You ready for the secret weapon?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll leave that caddis on for a strike indicator.
Sure.
And we'll put a little egg pattern on.
Okay.
And see how that works.
I brought some egg patterns.
I got one in hand here. If I, as a younger adult, would have thought that I could have made a living or make a difference in this, these folks' lives, I wouldn't imagine that this would have been possible.
With over 70 years of history and tens of thousands of students bestowed with the gift of a lifetime, the legacy of the Penn State fishing program is secure. In fact, some might argue it gives new meaning to the phrase higher education.
When I wake up in the morning, this is what I look forward to doing. There's no doubt about that.
Western fly fishing experience with guide J.B. Clyup. Located just outside Livingston, Montana, and just minutes north of Yellowstone Park, Dome Mountain offers some of the best fly fishing opportunities in the lower 48.
Doink, yeah. Good hookup. Hit the beat. There we go. He ate that just like he wanted it.
Just like we knew what we were doing. Oh, pretty fish.
Cutthroat?
Yep,
Cutthroat.
looks like a cut. Good job. Just in there sipping.
Yep.
Looking for handouts. Yeah. Fish got shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Took the beetle dropper. Okay,
He's not quite
ease
ready
him up.
yet, is
There you go. All right.
he? Beautiful.
All right.
Looks like something on this now. All right, yeah, this is a Yellowstone cut, and if you notice, the red slash is just like he's got a cut throat, and they're fun to catch because they come up and open their mouths like a dog, and you almost got to delay your hook set with them.
Yep. Very methodical, very measured rise to that fly, no question.
And they are very ready top feeders, I guess. They're a popular fish to catch on top, and we just hooked this guy up with the beetle. So they're just starting to look up. So we're gonna turn them free and let them fight another day here.
The big waters of the Yellowstone, the Madison, and the Bighorn are not the only fishing opportunities available in this region. If fishing small, secluded streams is more your style, then a short hike into the high country will satiate your desire. The hills around Paradise Valley are full of cold mountain streams brimming with hungry cutthroats, browns, and rainbow trout that will readily take a well-presented fly.
Oh! There we go. The no look.
A nice one. He's charging. Good
There you
fish,
go.
Randy.
Nice.
Pretty
Oh,
fish.
yeah. That's a nice
That's
brown.
that's a Kodak fish there.
Yep. Look at the spots on that fish.
Might be a cutty.
Oh yeah, I think it is. You're right. Look at that. Yeah, it is.
You don't catch a lot of those here, but when you do, they're usually fat and happy.
It's a nice fish. First drift through, he came up and looked at the fly. Just put it right on him immediately again. He came up and took it right from underneath that overhanging brush.
From the high country of Montana, we'll continue with Randy Carlson as we head due east to the rugged shoreline of the New England coast. Martha's Vineyard is our final destination, and we've arrived in time for the annual Striper Run.
Wonderful.
On this portion of the show, Randy joins local outdoor sports writer Nelson Siegelman in one of the shallow estuaries here on Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is located directly across from Cape Cod on the famous New England coastline, approximately 70 miles south of Boston's Logan International Airport.
See him?
Let's pick up on the action
Come on.
in the field.
Still behind it. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on.
There you go. All right.
Oh, man.
I think it's the tide. We've got some bait here. Tidal currents are, without question, important. There's a lot of fish. We've seen them feeding out deeper in that channel, and I think we've got probably a fairly big school of fish hanging out in the channel, and we've got some fish that are still looking for food coming in on this tide. And it's not bright yet. The sun is just coming up over the horizon. It's not real bright yet. And it's a little deeper water out there. They're in about, we're wading in about 3.5 feet. Where we're casting to is probably 8 or 9 feet. When we first came in at dawn, they were actually right in the margins of the grass. I mean, feeding 3-4 feet off the shore. So you can see they've moved out from right tight to the shore at first light, out to 100, 150 yards offshore, out into a little bit deeper water. 8 or 9 feet is definitely a depth that they like. If there's food out there for them, they'll hang in there until boat traffic starts coming in and out, scatters them, maybe moves them out even into deeper water. Oh, that spooked them on the cast. There he is. Come on, there we go. There we go. Shallower water here. They are just such beautiful fish. A little schooly, but healthy, fat. Let's see if we can do the job here.
From the East Coast, we're going to take you all the way to the Nushagak River, where we'll pick up with Team Cabela's Brent Curtis and guide John Koenig during Alaska's largest salmon run.
Fish on. Sweet. This one's hot.
Fish on.
There we go. Double. Oh, holy crap. Oh, I don't know. I think is my fish behind yours?
Yeah, you're behind me.
Every summer, as the weather warms, king salmon enter the Nushagak River from Bristol Bay. Anglers can access the area via float plane from Dillingham, a small community located approximately 350 miles southwest of Anchorage.
Oh, don't take off now. Ah, there he goes. He's off. Took my fly with him, too.
Yeah, that's not all bad the way to end the day.
That was a nice chone, though.
That was a great fight. I think we've got a king on here.
I saw his tail. Let's see if I can
I'm
get
gonna
out here and
step
tail
back
this
and
one.
see if I can't glide her in here. Maybe you can get a shot at that tail before she turns and runs.
She got a big tail.
I'm gonna try to give you a glide.
There we go. I got. Oh.
Look at the size of that
Holy
king.
moly. Now there's a fish on a fly.
Now that's a king.
She got like a bloodshot eye or something. Holy crap.
Look at the size of that king.
Holy moly.
What a beautiful fish.
This fish is right at 30.
Great fish.
Holy crow. That is a
How's
dandy.
that lift feel?
Yeah, that is a dandy hen.
That is a
big,
huge
big
hen.
female. Look at her, she's full of eggs too. Full of eggs, covered with sea lice. She's ready to go.
Yep. Well, let's send her back to Alaska. Back on the Nushagak River. What a great fight and battle.
For information on fishing the Nushagak or any Cabela's destination, contact Cabela's Outdoor Adventures at 1-800-346-8747 or log on at Cabela's.com. Cabela's Outfitter Journal. Ford.
Michigan's location along the spine of the country is fitting. For centuries, foundries of the state have provided a steel backbone to the nation's industrial machine. But in recent years, a different kind of Michigan alloy is rearing its chrome-sided head, spawning an army of impassioned followers who exult in the pursuit of cold steel.
Winter steelhead fishing is, I think, a game of patience. Fish will certainly still strike. They just probably won't move as far to hit a fly as they would in, say, in March or April when the water temperature is much warmer.
And now the water's 33 degrees, 32.8 to be specific. It's amazing that steelhead are probably one of the few fish that consistently can bite in water as low as 26, 28 degrees. Water doesn't freeze as long as it's flowing. So the water temps could go down to the 20s and still be moving.
A steelheader like Matt Sapinski couldn't care less if water makes a glass half full or half empty. As long as the water is running, it will, given the proper skill and dedication of the fisherman, deliver a fly to that most magnificent of salmonoids, the beast that Sapinski himself calls the holy grail of fish.
I love fishing, I think, in the winter the most. You slow down. It's not a time. I spend a lot of time out here where you're in a hurry, where you're trying to maybe get to a certain section of the river, or you're trying to find fish, whether they're rising or in a certain section of the river. But this time of year is all about just relaxing and being out and enjoying your time.
A couple of ticks on that one, but not slowing it down much, that's for sure.
many ways, Matt Sapinski and Bill Verink live parallel lives in a chrome-sided parallel universe. Both grew up on tributaries of the Great Lakes. Both hooked and landed their first steelhead before the age of 10. And both are now guides and outfitters on the waters in which their lifelong quarry runs. Simply put, Matt and Bill are charter members of that rare order of anglers, Steelhead Fanaticus.
And I love the water. I love the changing environment of the river. It changes every day. They're always moving. It's always a different bite. It's changing flies, trying to figure things out. It's like trying to find that right combination. You know, when you think you have it figured out, when you think you're going to go out and get it, when you get humbled.
Fish on? Oh, yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Oh. Gone?
Yep.
Well, good job, buddy.
The whooping crane reach.
What happens?
Well, he just took that down and busted it.
Steelhead are here in the Great Lakes because we brought them here. First steelhead that we have on record of being introduced, I believe, was 1880. And what happened in these streams is that the native fish populations were mostly grayling, and those were wiped out in the late 1800s by all the logging and overfishing. Probably the combination of those two wiped out the grayling populations. Anglers at the time were looking for a species to fish to in these streams, and they decided to introduce steelhead. For the most part, thought they would just stay in the streams and be a resident trout population. But what they've done is they've migrated out to the Great Lakes. So steelhead in the Great Lakes are very similar to steelhead out west. The only difference is, of course, that they're not running out to a saltwater ocean, they're running out to a freshwater sea.
The Great Lakes that split the U.S. and Canada hold roughly 6 quadrillion gallons of water. Of that total, a tiny fraction comes by way of Michigan's Muskegon River. As far as steelheaders go, the magic section of the Muskegon is the 35-mile stretch between Croton Dam and Lake Michigan.
The key is to cover everything. You can't second guess yourself, and that's one of the biggest problems. When you know a lot of water, just to second guess yourself and say, I maybe should be fishing this, or I maybe should be fishing that, or I shouldn't have gone here, I should have gone there. The thing, when you got temperatures like this, is you got to fish everything thoroughly top to bottom. As the old saying goes, let no stone be uncovered, let no page be not turned. And that's basically what steelhead fishing is.
With something like that, you know, you have to be prepared. It's going to happen. I mean, when you don't think a hot fish is down there, they are. And at the end of a swing like that, when you get thumped, I mean, I think I ran to the front of the boat pretty quick on that, trying to keep them on. That fish was heading out. And that's, the hookup is, for me, where it's at. Just to see that fish down there, it was beautiful. You know, it all came together. We didn't put them in the boat, but it was a great moment, that's for sure.
Our next spot is going to be right behind that little birch there. That spring there combined, there's another spring. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 springs are going to funnel right into that back corner. Once again, we're on that outside of the river bend. Fish closed on the tight far side, and then sometimes on the inner side, so we have to work this seam going all the way down also. And move up just a tad, cover this upper slot. The sun feels great, doesn't it? I see a few midge coming off. Some chironomids starting to hatch, so that's a good sign. Water warming up a little bit. A degree or two is all we really need.
Like most rivers, the Muskegon was looked on by early settlers as a mule. Its size and strong flows drew huge lumber operations to its banks. Later, those flows were harnessed in the name of power generation. Ironically, one of those dams now plays a key role in making the lower Muskegon such a vibrant steelhead fishery. Croton Dam both creates a rich tailwater environment and blocks returning steelies from ascending the river any further. It's no wonder this is hallowed water in the eyes of many.
They're the holy grail of fish. You're constantly chasing something that you never know you're going to get. I think the chase, the means, the process is what what draws us to the sport. You get bit by the steelhead bite, meditation of the grab, the meditation of the big pull, the fish, the leaps, the runs, the cartwheeling, the mistakes. It's almost like a spiritual experience when you get a fish in the net. I mean, there's so much energy, so much adrenaline happening. So you get addicted, and it's almost like a fix you need. And people travel the world in search of steelhead Atlantic salmon, pay millions and millions of dollars every year to go to these places. And I firmly believe that the Great Lakes probably is the greatest salmoniid fishery in the world.
There's a steelhead right there. Yes,
That
sir.
was a sweet take.
That's, whoa,
oh, yeah.
in there.
There he goes, right off the corner.
That's it, baby. We're
Nice.
on. We're on.
Let me get reeled up here. Nice shot, Matt.
Right on, right where I thought it was going to be.
Right on.
Came out of the water.
Good boil.
It's coming at the boat. I'm going to try.
And you're piquing the interest of a fish that necessarily does not meet the feed. Steelhead and Atlantic salmon could literally go 10, 12 months without eating, ingesting food. They're here to spawn, but you're piquing natal instincts. When the fish were tiny parr and smolts in the river, they've seen the fly, they've eaten the fly as juveniles. They go onto the big lake and feed on bait fish and mysis shrimp and diporia and sculpins and you name it. And what comes back is a mentality that if the timing is right and the mentality is right to strike the fly, you're going to get a hookup.
There you go. It's coming up again, maybe. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that run.
Whoa.
He's smoking through there.
It's a dedication factor. It's a perseverance. It's a positive mental attitude all the way down to the last bit of light you have. If you want to catch a lot of fish, it's not always the way to go, but they're beautiful fish, and they fight in 33, 32-degree water, and something totally special.
The legion of those afflicted with steelhead fever is large, but few have parlayed their singular focus into a full-blown life like Matt Sapinski has. Tales of his steelheading prowess and know-how have found the pages of numerous magazines and books, and the lodge perched on the banks of his favorite Steelhead River is proof of his priorities.
He's burning good yet.
Oh, he's burning good, and he's in that spot where I don't want him to be. There's a big stick there. Come on, baby, come
There's
back.
5 phases of a steelheader. The first phase is I want to catch one. Second phase, I want to catch a lot. Third phase is I want to catch the biggest. Fourth phase, I want to do it in a bizarre way that no one else can do it, whether on a spay rod or a fly that I tied or on the surface or whatever. And then on the 5th phase is I really don't care anymore because just being on the water and being in the surroundings where these fish are and knowing I have a chance of catching one or not. There's days I come out on my own after guiding for many days and I fish hard myself and I don't catch a fish and I don't care, but just knowing that I could go through the process and enjoy it. It's not trophy hunting. I've caught 20, 25-pound steelhead down the East Coast, West Coast. I've gotten trophies. I've gotten numbers of fish. I've had incredibly crazy fishing where it was like every time you put your line in the water, you're catching fish. After a while, it comes down to the whole aspect, the fly, the experience, the surroundings, the friends. Sometimes when you try too hard in anything, you fail, and sometimes when you just be pragmatic and proceed at a very relaxed level, especially in this sport, sometimes you're rewarded when you least expect it.
There you go. Beautiful. Wild Michigan steelhead. Look at the colors on her. Absolutely gorgeous. The pink, purples, all the colors in the rainbow. Yes, beautiful. Can't ask for a more beautiful fish. Wild fins. She's ready to rock. Spread your progeny to the next generation. Okay, she's hot. All right. Fantastic. Right on,
Love
brother.
when a plan comes together.
She came to Daddy. That's what I wanted. She came to Daddy.
Cold. One day may bring sunshine, and another, like this one, may bring clouds, but it's almost always flat out cold. Now, a typical steelheader might notice a nip to the air in passing, but it's nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Such is the life of those who hope to harness feral steelies on a thread.
Basic life cycle of a wild steelhead in Michigan, it's very similar to what you have out west in their native range. They're born in the river. The fish are spawning in March and April typically, and the juveniles that we call parr will live in the stream or river usually for 2 years, sometimes for 1 year. In the spring, the 2-year-olds will migrate out to the lake, at which time we call them smolts. In this case, they'll live in Lake Michigan for usually 2 or 3 years, sometimes 4 before they first come back to spawn.
Steelhead are a genetic match to rainbow trout with one notable exception, an instinctual command to find big water in which to grow. And those steelies are famed for their ocean runs. Fish introduced to the Great Lakes have adapted quite well to their freshwater environs. In fact, because of shorter travel distances and the distinct lack of predators such as sharks and sea lions, Great Lakes steelhead enjoy a more leisurely life than their sea-run cousins.
Okay, Bill, I feel a fish coming on here.
Got a good feeling?
Get that mojo feeling.
It's a good hunt.
The mojo.
Fishing with Matt's great because he has really good energy. And to come out here and chase these fish, you have to have a positive energy. It's about entertainment while you're out here. You know, it's a great time. It's great to be out here, but we're out here to try to catch some fish without a doubt.
There's Steelhead. Yes, sir. Whoa!
Oh, yeah, right on the ledge,
out of the water. He's off!
Oh! Oh!
When the water is this cold, it's probably only about 34, 35 degrees Fahrenheit right now. The fish's metabolism slows down and they're just not as active. But you can still get them to hit a fly.
Steelhead just are special. I mean, you really have to work for them. You have to earn them. That's what makes them great.
Biological drift is occurring right now at this time of year, so there are insect life in the river system that are starting to leave their burrows, i.e. hex nymphs, i.e. little stone flies, attractants in the form of egg patterns, and especially at this time of year, egg patterns such as the Charisse, fluorescent pinks combined with white pearl estas work very well. Pretty off-colored water. When that situation arises, chartreuse plays a very important role, especially when combined with estas and orange chartreuse combinations with chartreuse esters. Is a very, very hot color for a Great Lakes steelhead. You could probably take this pattern, the Estes, Newgag, and fish all the tributaries throughout the Great Lakes system and be successful. There's steelhead. Yes. Oh yeah, big fish.
Nice, nice.
No pain, no gain. It's a science, and if you put science and sport together, you have an amazing combination that you don't have in a lot of other sports. So I think the ability to not understand this fish causes you to have a great love for what you're doing and a constant, I want to come back and do it again. So I think once we figure out the end of this whole crazy equation, then we might get bored with it, and I think that's why these fish will never allow that to happen. Oh, big buck.
Oh, yeah.
Big buck.
Oh, yeah.
Big buck. Keep rolling forwards now. I want to get away from the stump. Big red buck or female, I can't tell. Slide under. Go, go. Got her. Woo! Big chrome hen. Color's unbelievable. Boy, that water's ice. It's got to be 33 degrees. Just
Look at that color.
The color is just,
That is
you don't get that color. Monet's brush could not paint a more beautiful fish. And one thing, the winter fishing is very difficult. But the rewards when you get one of these things are just an absolute work of art. With the purple, lavender pink. Once again, look at that cheekbone. Great, great, great. You just see that cheek right there. Just the purple, pink, lavender, a little bit of chartreuse. White tips on the fins, the purple sheen on the side. Nice, healthy fish. Great fighter. First I thought it was a buck because all the beautiful colors she had. Ready to go for a nice swim? Make a lot of babies this spring. There she goes. Oh, out the door. Good job, bud. Thanks.
the mortgage or put the kids through college. But if you're good enough, you can parcel off parts of that obsession to people grateful for the knowledge and experience. And being a guide on the water you love can bring its own set of rewards.
Watch that tip. Master the tip, and the crowd is yours. I sometimes rather watch other people catch fish than catch fish. And, a lot of people say, no, do you really feel that way? A lot of times people say, you get more excited than I do. And I really do. I mean, to me, it's a hot.
There's fish. Fish up.
Seal it on. Oh, yeah. Oh,
nice,
yeah. Oh,
nice,
yeah.
nice,
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Oh, yeah. Put your line in.
Got it.
When I'm out there and I get climbed into a fish and we have to work hard and I land that fish, I am more pumped up. I am more elated. My adrenaline count is going nuts because I'm really satisfied. I'm fishing through other people. See, when I'm on the river, people say, are you fishing? I am fishing hard. My mind's working harder than if I'm fishing myself because I'm watching everything they're doing. I'm watching their drifts. I'm correcting their drifts. I'm correcting, say, a little more to the left, a little more to the right. Hold on. You fish through other people, and if you're successful at operating the wand, which is in the other person's hand, and getting them into fish, then you've achieved your job. Nice steely, beautiful cars. Watch your weight. Reel up. Don't turn towards the fish. Turn towards them. That's a nice steely. Take it. That's enough weight. All right, buddy. Nice 4 or 5 pound steely. Never lose the focus, because if you lose the focus, that karma, the casting karma, the mentality, the meditation of the grab, is what's going to bring you to that fish. So the next 7 hours go by so quickly because you're not thinking about nothing else, because that lightning strike, that heavy knock and pull and what you've been looking for can happen any moment. You never know. It is an existential way of fishing, and I think the people that get into this sport of steelheading or salmon fishing or Atlantic salmon fishing have an existential mind, that sometimes things are out of their control, sometimes life is absurd, sometimes fishing is absurd. But there's always tomorrow. And if you keep the hope up, it's going to eventually happen. Your day's going to come. There he goes. Good job, buddy. Charisse.
Our journey begins on Lake Hood in Anchorage, Alaska. Lake Hood is the largest and busiest seaplane base in the world, and it's easy to see why.
Our outfitter this week is Alaska Air Taxi. Owners Jack and Brenda Barber both have extensive experience flying to the remote areas of Alaska.
Here at Alaska Air Taxi, we operate 7 aircraft in our fleet. We have everything from float planes to wheel planes and ski planes. We are a year-round business, so we do operate summer and winter. Tourism's pretty heavy in the summertime, so obviously 80% of our business does seem to be in the 4 months of the summer. Probably for most of our activities, we do a lot of lodge support, fishing lodges, hunting lodges. We also do a fair amount of flight seeing, and now what's growing popularity is bear viewing. People who want to go out and see the bears, it's just phenomenal, especially the bears down at Brooks Falls and Katmai National Park. That's one of our big trips where a lot of people do want to go out and see the bears at Katmai. There's probably 3 or 4 other locations that we go to see bears, which makes it kind of nice because then basically from June the 1st through the end of September, we've got places that we can go and see bears, and everyone can experience bears out in the nature here in Alaska.
From Anchorage, we took a scenic flight along Cook Inlet into Lake Clark National Park. We landed on the beach just up from Silver Salmon Creek.
Jack left us in the capable hands of the Alaska Homestead Lodge and host James Isaac. James is a native Alaskan who spent his early years flying the Alaskan bush. James found Silver Salmon Creek to be one of his favorite spots and spent countless days with the original homesteader, Joe Munger. When Joe's place came up for sale, James didn't waste any time making this spot his home. James and his wife Sheila enjoy sharing Alaska at its best. Our special guests this week are Melissa Norris and her brother, Marcus Weiner. Melissa and Marcus are publishers of Fish Alaska magazine. They share the same respect for Alaska as we do and hope to show people exactly what Alaska has to offer sportsmen.
Napa's North to Alaska is brought to you by...
Yeah, we're about 125 miles southwest of Anchorage.
Right across is Homer
yeah.
and the lower Kenai Peninsula.
Right.
It's a great location.
Yeah. That's why we live here.
Just a short walk from the lodge.
Yep.
Now, is your silver run like this every year?
Not
It's
every
just
year. This year is just an exceptional year.
Is it?
But still, we usually always have a pretty good run of silvers here. And so we'll get a few reds earlier in the season, but it's then also a few pinks. Sometimes quite a few pinks. The pinks are starting to get more and more pinks all the time.
So folks are usually coming out primarily for the silver run.
Yes. Yeah.
And how long is that?
That normally starts the end of July and goes through all the middle of September.
Oh, great. We hit it just right. Then.
Yep. Well, we've had them as silver start coming in as early as the 4th of July, but that's early. That's not normal. But everything seems to be earlier this year. The bears came out early. The silver start running was early, and.
So do you see a lot of bears out here?
Oh yeah, yeah. To me, the bears have the right of way here. They were here before anybody else was.
Right.
And we can go to Safeway and buy something to eat. The bears can't.
We can move around them.
That's right. We can move around them and give them 20, 30 minutes to catch a fish.
Right. Now, how far up are a lot of these fish going?
A lot of these are going up to the lake to spawn in the lake, and then also going all the way up the valley, maybe 5 or 6 miles up the valley, because there's another inlet stream that comes into the lake.
Oh, okay.
And so the fish, they'll go up there 5, 6 miles. Even these real small little tributary streams, they'll go up there and spawn.
How far is the lake from here?
About a mile.
Okay, that's not too far a journey.
You got one? There we go.
Yeah. Wasn't sure if it was in the mouth, but it is. It's a big fish.
All right, land him.
Can we hold your pole?
Yeah. Thanks.
It's a fat one.
Can you work him down to me?
I'll try. I just hooked him, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well.
This drag's really tight, though.
You want this
to
flat
loosen
spot
this
right
up. It's too tight. There.
Oh, that's
okay.
good. Want that flat spot right there?
Sure.
Go for a swim.
Look.
Oh
Isn't that
man,
nice?
that's a nice one, Hardy. Big old
Maybe
bull.
we can get him.
Oh.
He's wrapped up a little bit, though.
Well, unwrap him, just spin him.
Okay.
Or as long as you grab them right there.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay, you want to take those pliers and take that hook out?
Oh, perfect.
Nice job, right in the mouth. Nice fresh buck.
These are big silvers.
That's one. Turn around. I'll hold on to him. Let her take our fish.
Oh, we got a jumper.
Go, Audrey. Go, Audrey. Fishing maniac. You still got him?
Think so.
You got any more? Oh, we got a bear visitor over here. Look at this. Look at that big fuzzy teddy bear.
Nice.
Easy. Pretty good for a rookie, isn't she?
Coming to you. Woo! Maybe not.
Saw the bear. Keep fighting him.
I'm gonna bring him this way.
Well, there's a flat place here. He's gonna come right back in up there. It's up to you. What do you want to do?
Right
I
here.
can't get out very deep to get him there because
Okay.
of my boots.
You want to hold this? I'll get him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Melissa set me up with that
Melissa set you up. I picked that
lure
hook
fly combination thing.
out. You're going to give the credit to Melissa. I pulled that out of that MEPS mess.
You did, and you told me to jig it a little bit, and that worked.
Yeah,
You wanna come
jigging
get it?
action
Yeah.
does. Don't tell everybody that. We'll keep
Another
that a
fish for the
secret.
barrel.
Yep.
Thank you.
You bet.
It's headed for the Fish and Game cabin camp over there.
Uh-oh. Well, you can imagine the mess he'd make of that camp in about 10 minutes.
He's going on in, isn't he?
I've seen a couple times, I've seen what they've done in a campsite. It's not pretty.
Good grief. Look at this wake coming
Yep.
up the river.
I might walk over here with them
Okay.
just so.
That's fine.
You might want to come back this way. Got a bear coming. So hopefully she'll come down and fish. Well, she was. She's pretty skittish.
Boy, he's beautiful. I'm assuming it's a he, I don't know.
I wonder if it's that sow, little sow.
Well, they kind of quit biting, didn't they?
Yeah, they have. Occasionally you get one right in front of one of them and they snap at it.
Did you have a background in writing or?
Background's actually in engineering.
Engineering?
Yeah. But fishing's in my blood.
How's it in your blood? Your long line of fishermen?
My grandmother was a salty dog.
She liked it, huh?
Yeah, she passed it on to us. Oh, he was chasing.
Are most of the people that get your magazine in Alaska or the lower 48?
It's about a 60-40 split, lower 48 to Alaska.
Is that right?
Alaskans, we wrote the magazine so Alaskans would read it, you know, with good helpful hints and good technique pieces, good destination stuff. And that's what I hear all the time from Alaskans, is they like it because it's on point. It's not somebody glamorizing a fishery that's not all that great. And we figured if Alaskans liked it, then everybody else probably would too.
Oh, there's a fish. There he is.
Want me to land it for you, bro?
It's a nice fresh one, huh?
Boy, that is a nice fresh one. You gonna keep him? Hey, you're messing up my school clothes here. Ain't easy, is it?
Oh yeah, just like that.
That's a nice fish. Look at that. Big
Don't
old
cover your
bug.
face,
There we go, boys.
Nice job.
So did Marcus come to Alaska first?
He did. He graduated from college and found his way up here with some friends, and then inspired me to join him.
I thought I was getting hit a lot, and I couldn't figure out what the problem
You
was.
booger! Oh, he took it right there. Woo.
Circus is on.
Damn, I can't catch a break. I thought I had. Oh, you know what? I did.
All right. Listen, you got the hot hand over there today.
All right.
Man, you're tearing up the neighborhood.
Yeah. They told all their friends about me.
Where did Marcus take you on your first fishing trip in Alaska?
This is embarrassing. You really want me to answer that?
Sure.
We caught pinks at Hope.
Really? But it was great, right?
Yeah. I caught them all day long. We were with my other brother, who unfortunately couldn't get into them. But Marcus said, "You're a natural." That's my fish right there, Dom.
Is that?
That's my fish right there. Oh, God. She's gonna freak. Oh, I just hooked myself.
That fish attacked you, Melissa.
It did. I got her unhooked and she said, I was like, I don't even want to touch her because she's just gonna start freaking out. That's catch and release right there, folks. No harm, no foul.
Brother, sister, double.
Fish on. Incorporated.
LLC. Oh, it's in the mouth. Yay.
You see him swim up there?
Triple.
Swam right up in front of me and grabbed it.
It's a nice size.
Look at that nice hen. The hens are hitting that plug today.
It is a nice one. Large and in charge.
He's not ready, Larry.
Lift her up. Drop that. There you go. Nice job.
Let me in it to win it. Thanks for your help, dog. That's my hog right there. Uh-huh.
Woo! Is that a cover shot?
I hope so. Get some pliers for me? Oh. That's a hog. That's the biggest silver I've ever caught right there.
That's a silver. Any question who he is? Look at that.
He's going on up to the lake.
No, he's going to the Smoky Joe Smoker. That's where he's going.
Bring him on in.
There you go, fresh silver.
All right, this baby's been on there for about 15 minutes. It is really good. They smell good. Woo! See how they're curled up? I tell you, this is good eating right here. Today I've got a smoked salmon dip that you can't go wrong. I got 6 cups of salmon, and a lot of people, they'll keep salmon frozen in the freezer, and you know, if it stays in there a long time, you get a little freezer burn or something, this is the perfect recipe to use this for. And all you do is you get the smoked salmon. You can buy it in the store or you can smoke it yourself. It's easy to do on the grill. Put your little bit of wood on your charcoal, cook it on the charcoal grill. It's easy. But what you want to do is get all the bones out of the pieces. See them little bones right here? First, go through it real good, get all the bones out, dump it in the bowl. And there's a little trick to it. What you want to do is put all the seasons in first. So I got a tablespoon of tarragon. Usually, see how big the leaves are? You want to crush it up real good. Put it in. Tablespoon of sweet basil. Rub it up. 4 stalks of green scallions. And tablespoon of seasoned salt. Some cayenne pepper, however much you can stand. I usually put about a tablespoon because a lot of people don't like it real hot. Some garlic powder and lemon juice. Now what you do is you stop right there. I get my hands, mix it up real good, get her going in there. If you do this first, before you add the sour cream and cream cheese, it won't clump all up. All the seasoning will get all clumped up in that sour cream if you put it in before you do this. So mix it up real good. Then, that's when you add your sour cream and your cream cheese. Cream cheese, if you let it sit out a little bit, when you get it out of the refrigerator, it'll soften up and it'll mix up real easy for you. Final ingredients, mayonnaise, 2½ cups, and that'll soften it up real good. And you can get low-fat mayonnaise if you want. You don't have to use regular mayonnaise. A little bit of salt, Not too much. You can always add salt. That's the thing about salt. And some black pepper. And you remember now, we did add cayenne pepper, but black pepper gives it a little bit different taste. Get that in there good. Mix that up real good, and man, you talk about something good now. I mean, you can try it on a cracker, but a sandwich, like tuna fish sandwich, finest kind, buddy. It looks like a lot. There won't be none left, I promise you, because this ain't nothing but the truth.
Mention Napa's North to Alaska and get a free back issue with your order. To subscribe, call toll-free 877-220-0787. And by National Car Rental. When in Anchorage, Napa's North to Alaska uses cars provided by National Car Rental. To make a reservation, call 907-243-3255. Napa Auto Parts is proud to present Napa's Inside Alaska.
Lake Clark National Park takes special care to ensure the safety of both sportsmen and bears.
This is my third season at Lake Clark National Park, and I set up a field camp here for 3 months each summer. My main goal here is to educate the visitors on how to interact with the bears. As I'm sure you guys have seen today, there's people fishing and bears fishing, and those two things have an inherent conflict. So I try to educate folks on the best ways to deal with that. We like to have people stop fishing when bears are in the area. You know, the bears need the creek, you know, for sustenance, and we're out here more for fun. So we try to give the bears the right of way back off the creek, allow bears access to fish. So you sort of just switch modes from sports fishing to bear watching. The only problem that we really ever have is if someone lets a bear get fish from them, and bears quickly make the association that you know, that was easy to do, and unfortunately they'll remember that and try to do it. You don't want to play a fish with the bear, and that's why I try to tell people to be aware of their surroundings, because if you see a bear coming from a distance, it gives you that opportunity to, you know, deal with whatever you've got going on with the fish and back off the creek. It's amazing. If people ask me if I get tired of watching bears, and I can honestly say that I don't. It's just an amazing experience every single time that you have it.
For more information on charter flights in Alaska, contact Alaska Air Taxi toll-free at 800-789-5232 or on the web at alaskaairtaxi.com.
So that Pixie's working for you, huh?
I gave it to her.
What's he have on now?
The one I had.
Oh.
The salmon are heading upstream and the bears are homing in on the Bonanza. My family and I arrive in Terrace with very good friend Rolly working to be guided down the Kitimat River by Gil McKeon, the owner-operator of West Coast Fishing Adventures. One of the most delightful ways to fish is going downstream in a drift boat and then stopping off in the honey holes to do some bottom bouncing for chum and king salmon. Alex and Jessica are chasing some IGFA Junior Angler World Records.
Yep, I think. Yep, I'm on. Woohoo!
Yeah, you did good.
That's definitely going to make it. That's a big one, Alex. Well done, buddy. Told you you'd catch one today. Well done, man.
Okay.
16, 18, 19, yeah.
Okay, so right on the line.
Yep, right on the line.
All right, good.
Congratulations, Alex. Your first freshwater record. Wine, Jess, wine. Well done, Jess. It's your first chum salmon. Look at him, take line. Wow.
Cracking up.
Okay, good girl.
Here he comes.
Thanks, Phil. The chum salmon is the freshwater powerhouse, a hard fighting fish with long runs and acrobatic leaps equal to any dolphin fish. Everyone else is busy with their own fish, so I give Jessica a hand in landing her first chum. there we go. This is bigger than 10, Jess. We're going to measure it to see if it's a potential world record for junior angler. Well done, your first chum salmon. Congratulations, girl.
Thank you.
Nice work.
And a witness, Mike, or Terry or somebody.
Yep.
17.
17.
Woo. Yeah, 17 pounds right on the money.
Okay, yeah, all right, girl.
All right,
Congrats.
Jessica. Way to go, Jessica.
And guess what? We're going to release him after we measured it.
17 on the money,
Yep.
right?
As I reflect on the season gone through my paintings, it's frightening to think that, but for the dedicated scientists and conservationists worldwide striving to learn more about our ocean's inhabitants, many fish species will be close to extinction, overexploited by commercial extraction in order to feed an expanding human population. Thank you for accompanying me on my expeditions to some of the world's greatest fishing and diving destinations. I am Guy Harvey. Join me for more exciting adventures to follow.
There he is. He's a nice one, brother! Oh! Woo! What a hit these things do! That could be the big fish.
I think this is Mr. 3-bar here.
This is 3-bar?
I think this is Mr.
This is
3-bar.
3-bar? Unbelievable hit. I hope y'all caught that out there.
Oh, nice fish, Blair. What a nice fish.
Way to go, Enrico.
Let me get the net. I'll be netting, Enrico.
This a good one?
Oh,
you
yeah.
think? I think that was the 1100th cast. Yeah. But I got a cramp.
I got it. This is the fish, baby. Give me a little bit on this one.
Woo! There he is, coming up. Ooh, thought he was gonna jump.
We are about to see, oh, nice one, Blair.
Barely hooked, barely hooked. Oh, come up on that drag a little. Nice 3-bar.
Yes, sir.
There he is. Look at the size of that fish, boys!
Oh, yeah, baby.
Look at that fish. Look at that peacock bass. Come on, John.
Oh, I'm not going to swat at him. We need to have him in the boat.
In the boat. Woo! Woo!
Look at this one.
That is a peacock. Oh, let's get down to him in there.
Is that one all right? Is that what you came down here for?
Is that what I come down here for?
I believe it is.
Is that what I come down here for?
Woo! What a beauty.
Ready? That's for you, Jimmy Houston. Look at that fish.
Got a little Labrador head.
Kind of anxious to see what this guy here weighs. I know I shouldn't have kissed him. I think I cut my lip. 14 pounds
14
on the
pounder.
button. My lip bleeding?
A little bit. Little love.
Guess that's what you get for kissing a peacock. Wow!
On the prototype high roller plug.
It's not prototype anymore, brother. You can get it.
It's been christened.
Get it? Whew. And that's a pretty one. I probably won't kiss another one. Okay, I won't kiss you. I won't kiss you. I'm gonna let this puppy go. That is peacock though, bro. Well, he got me good.
It's not as bad as it seems.
One more time for the audience out there. That fish is as long as my arm. Get out of here, dude. Come on.
He's taking a little piece of Blair back to the nest with him.
Off into the wilderness. Let me see that plug.
That's the one.
That is the one. Magnum high roller and a bloody lip. Was that some awesome footage from 2004 or what? I tell you, and it's been a real tough year because of the weather, and I tell you, we got it done this year. We actually went down south and did a couple shows from Brazil, so I hope y'all enjoyed that footage this year as well. Now, at this time, I want to thank all of our new sponsors that came aboard this year, and I also want to thank everybody that's been our stable since day one here on Addictive Fishing. I also want to thank Kevin McCabe, he's the producer of the show. Patrice Mahoney, she's the glue that holds everybody together here. George Shasmy is our #1 shooter, and also we brought a new driver aboard, Larry Freehand. You're going to see him driving that big, giant 38-foot motorhome around, and we're going to be at all the FLW tour stops this year, including the Kingfish and the Redfish. So if y'all ever get a chance to come by and check out one of these tournaments or even fish in them, go to their website. You can check out anything about it. That's about it. Wrapping it up for 2004. Going to make some great shows for 2005, so y'all tune in next year. We'll see you.
And the next Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
When you come to Pickwick, what's the best time of year to come?
You know, March is good to catch big fish, and then June, July, and August are good to catch big fish in deep water, what we're fishing right now.
So really, you're subject to catch a giant anytime here.
That's exactly right. Naturally, in late February, March, your big fish, big smallmouth and largemouth are going to be full of eggs. There you go. There's a fish.
Under the boat.
Right under the boat. Good fish. Good fish. Look at there. Good largemouth.
Under the boat.
Yeah.
I am talking under the boat. You know what that means? We're keeping the boat on top of the fish.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're out there, what's that, 22 feet of water.
22 feet of water.
Straight under the boat. Literally, I pulled it out and got in the deep water, and then he just thumped it right there.
These fish are laying out deep. This hot air has really got them moved out. It's a 3-pounder.
See what we got here. Oh.
Those fish are really eating that bait today. They're eating it. That means swallowing it down.
Fast. Let me just drop this big guy in here.
That's a good fish there.
Oh, there he goes.
That was a good one.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, though, is how deep they are.
Yeah, these fish are way out
Those
here.
are definitely deep.
They're good fish, though.
Got to do it again.
I'd like to be on those fish right there in a Bassmasters Classic.
I guarantee this next month I will be begging for a fish like that.
I guarantee you.
It is the race of legend. Midday in midsummer in Mississippi. Just the sort of steam iron conditions that Shaw likes best. Here on Pickwick Lake, Shaw and Roger Stigall are launching at the J.P. Coleman State Park. Pickwick has a deep channel flowing through it with fairly cool water for the south.
It's always nice to have a guy that knows those little key spots.
Yeah.
Roger has been fishing Pickwick for better than 25 years and guiding anglers most of that time. Smallmouths are his favorite fish. He scored a pile of 7-pounders. In one tournament, he caught a 5-fish limit of smallmouths that went 27.5 pounds. Not bad for a Mississippi boy.
That's fish laying right on the lip of the break right here. We're sitting on a corner of a ledge that runs across here, and right on that corner is where those fish are laying.
There's one.
Got another one.
Oh, now that one feels a lot better.
That's a good one.
Oh,
That's
here.
a good one.
Oh, look
Ooh,
at him
that's a
come
good
up.
one.
That I like.
That's a good fish.
Now I've got a pretty light leader on here.
That's a real good one.
That's a nice one. But what's cool is I put a fluorocarbon leader on here. So this is that Strand fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I set my drag so you'll hear it go, when I set the hook. But I'm really,
that's a good fish.
Big old largemouth, isn't it?
We'll take a largemouth. We'll catch a smallmouth if we can. We'll take a largemouth.
Look at this.
That's a good one.
Oh, my. Nice
Good
fish.
fish. Good fish.
Look at this, and look at that lizard all
Look
down
at
his
him all
mouth.
stretched out on his back.
He says,
he's strapped up.
He is. That lizard is stretched and hooked. Look at this, it's cute. Let's see if I can get a hold of him here.
I haven't seen one like that.
Look at this. it got hung on a fin, so this is the tail.
Yep.
That's pretty cute.
Yep.
Doing.
There you go. Doing.
Yeah.
He looked like Mark Davis stretching it out, didn't he?
He does. He just said, that is a heifer right there now.
Yeah, that's good fish.
That's a beautiful quality largemouth. There you go. Now that's what I'm dragging it through. You can see right here, got wedged, just a mussel shell, and that's what's rough on the bottom.
That's a small one there.
Usually they're pretty good size,
Yeah,
aren't
usually they're big ones. And what happens is, what we're fishing, the reason we're fishing these mussel bars, is the crawfish gets in there around those mussels and hides, and the fish get around these mussels trying to eat on those crawfish.
I got you.
And the shad are in there eating on the algae around the mussels, so the shad and crawfish get in there.
So everything holds around the mussels.
That's right. A good one there.
Golly, that's a good one. Oh, it's a largemouth. Now you caught him on the centipede.
I switched to try to catch a smallmouth and still catching largemouth. But we'll take one 3.5, 4 pounds.
That is a big, big old fish.
Yeah.
Look at
There we
that.
go.
Look
Look
at
at
the fat on it. I mean, he's just a
Look
piggy.
at that shad tail. See it sticking out of his
Oh,
throat?
yeah. This is cool. Here, let me unhook him and we'll look at that. Or you unhook him, we'll look at that real quick. So here he is. He has been eating healthy.
That current's making him eat. Look at that
I don't know if you can
shad.
see that. I'll kind of show it to the
Yeah.
camera.
See that
Down
shad
in his
tail?
throat right there on the top is a big shad tail sticking out of there. That's why he's so fat.
Yeah, you got a big old shad in there eating.
And that's, I mean, that's it. Look at this.
That fish weighs 3.5, 4 pounds.
He is a stud,
He is
buddy.
a good one. I guarantee you, a good one.
Man, is he fat.
Real healthy.
Golly. There he goes. Now, do you think there's going to be some smallies down there with him, so they're just mixed in together?
Yeah, they always mix right in together. I mean, I've caught big smallmouth, big largemouth mixed right here together.
Should I put on a centipede or go back to the lizard?
I'd let you throw the lizard, I'll throw the centipede.
Okay.
I need to catch up.
You don't mind me stealing yours, do you,
No,
right there?
we reuse them. I mean, they're easy.
This is kind of cool. That's one thing about a 3X is not only is it so good at catching them, it floats, it's got a lot of buoyancy, and they literally have a bait for anything you want. From the Zulu that you can fish top to bottom, looks like a shad, to the lizard, the fries, the worms, craws, grubs. I mean, they've got it all. So pretty much, if there's a soft bait you need, they have it in the 3X line.
That's right. Floating worms. We got, I mean, Strike King has everything in that.
So you can pretty much guarantee yourself catching fish, and a lot of them. Now, in working the Carolina rig, you got any preferred method?
I drag it. Like, if you noticed, I've been fishing it with my rod down low, dragging it. And then these shells and rocks, it stirs up the bottom a lot more.
So you're just keeping that weight on the bottom rather than
That's
lifting
right.
it and getting the weight off the bottom.
That's right.
You're dragging it and keeping it on the bottom.
You're keeping a commotion going, and also it's you're feeling what's going on. You sort of detect an area when you think you're gonna get a bite. You know, I mean, you know, when you're dragging that Carolina rig, when you go to feel it and hit those shells and rocks, you know you get ready because these.
Right.
And when you're picking it up, you're gonna pick it up over that stuff. You won't feel near as much of it, you know. And I think that's one of the purposes of a Carolina, is dragging it, more than picking it up like a Texas rig. There's one.
Ooh, you got him.
Pretty good fish there. He's pulling. I don't know what he is, but he's pulling.
Smallmouth, isn't it?
Yep.
The way he jumped that high, I guess he is a smallmouth.
Yeah, that's
Did
a
a little-
brownie.
Golly, you can
go.
see him coming up. Oh, I got one too. He just ripped me.
There you go.
I'm sitting there. I'm looking at yours, and my line just whoop, goes out. I
You
got
got
a
a
largemouth.
largemouth.
Now, isn't that
Yeah.
something? Now, what did I get?
You got a spot.
I got a spot.
Yeah, there you go.
So now we got a spot.
And I'll get a largemouth here in just a second. Hold on, listen. He's about to get mad. I told you they had an attitude.
So, I mean, you catch anything on
Yeah.
Pickwick Lake.
Pretty good smallmouth.
Brownie, you gotta love that.
Oh man, that's the deal. Come here, fish.
Look at this
Yeah.
deal, man. So
Yeah.
you catch spots,
And smallmouth in the same spot.
no pun intended, in the same spot.
In the same spot. That's right.
Get that one going. Now get your big guy in here. Oh man, that's
right.
pretty awesome. So while you're fighting that
Here
one
we
in,
go.
mine just bit and ripped me.
Yeah.
Little
here.
spot. Oh,
Here
that's
it
a nice
That's a
smallmouth.
good smallmouth.
He still won't.
Come on.
There
They
you
never
go.
quit.
They don't never quit. That's a good fish.
I don't know how he tossed that 3X lizard, but he definitely, or no,
That
actually
was
you
a
were throwing centipede,
That's
so
right.
he
I
tossed
put
the
the centipede on. Yep. Good fish.
That's a
good one. Here we go.
Pickwick Smalley.
I'm using a 7-foot medium heavy rod with a long leader. You commented on that.
Real long. I mean, that's a 5 foot, 4.5, 5 foot leader.
Yeah, really that's 7 foot. It's a 5.5 foot leader. And I use a 3/4 ounce weight, 12-pound main line with a 10-pound leader.
Boy, 12-pound main line is like thin. Why do you think you need that?
There's not a lot of stuff to hang on. You got a lot more sensitivity with smaller lines, so.
Gets it
I
down
like
there.
it, yeah.
I'm using their new Strand Super Braid, and this is 40, and it's probably got the diameter of about 12-pound regular mono. And but sensitivity's increased, and then of course your hook setting power is incredible. And the hardest thing on a Carolina rig is feeling what's going on down there. And if you can feel it, then you can pretty much catch
I
fish on.
guarantee you. But you used to catch them tarpons and stuff.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Oh yeah.
To you by Citgo. The Mississippi share of Pickwick Lake is located in the hilly northeastern corner of the state. The place to stay on Pickwick is the J.P. Coleman State Park, with a marina, campground, and modern lodge. Loaded with shoals, Pickwick is a sunken city of bass. A run up the lake cools you off, but you can catch fish right in front of the lodge.
Roger, tell me a little bit about Pickwick Lake. How old is this thing?
I think it was built in 39 or 40, so you're talking about, 63 or 4 years? Something like that. It's been here a pretty good while. There's a lot of underwater humps and mounds and old stumps. A few left in it. It's been here a pretty good while.
And how long have you been guiding here?
I've been guiding here about 17 years. I've been fishing it about 26 or 7 years.
Really, for the South, this is the biggest smallmouth that we have. I mean, in all the southeastern United States, isn't it?
That's right. It's there's more 7, 8 pound, even 9 pound smallmouth caught out of this lake than there is anywhere in the South. Nearly every state now has got smallmouth, but for some reason the Tennessee River grows big smallmouth better than anywhere in there.
Nope.
I got one.
You got him?
I think.
It's like, whack. You got him. You got him. He's going upstream.
I got him.
And, oh, that's a nice largemouth.
That's a good largemouth. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that one.
Yeah.
That's the kind you want to catch.
Here we
This
go.
is just wild, though, to pull up to one hump and get, smallmouth first, back to back, and a spot, and then all of a sudden it's all largemouth.
That's right.
It's just wild.
Yep.
What a cool place to fish. That's a big
That's
boy.
a good fish right there. Look at him, got a black spot on his head where he's had I bet you, Shaw, that's where a leech has been stuck to the top of his
You
head.
think so?
It's got it off and it's healed up and it's caused that black spot on it.
See, I've seen black spots on a lot of bass across the country, but I've never known what caused it.
I think it's where they got a sore place on them and it's healed up and put a black spot on
I
it.
just figured it was a
See,
pigmentation
he's got a black spot back there. See it
in
on
the
the
back,
side of it? Yeah.
Let's let that one go and catch another one out here.
Alrighty, we'll get
back
another one
lined
go.
up.
Here we go.
You know what's really cool is how they sit there a second, then they just go straight back down to that bar, all the way down to the bottom. They're getting on that
Straight
ledge.
down. They sure do. Here we go. Let's get
Line us
another
up,
one.
big man.
Yeah.
Line us up. When I'm throwing a Carolina rig, I think one of the key parts, of course, sensitivity is why I'm using the new Strand Super Braid. But you can always see that when I'm fishing any slow bait, I'm actually letting that line touch my finger, which gives me direct contact down that line to the bait, which really increases your sensitivity. It also kind of balances your whole outfit out because now you've got the major weight in your hand, meaning the reel. Now, if your hands are small and you can't palm the reel like this, all you do is move up on the handle, and you can put your hand up here, and now you're above it, and you do the same thing, thumb and forefinger right there. So either which direction, whether you're here or up
Here's
on the
one right here.
foregrip, you got one?
I missed him.
Either one, whether you're here or on the foregrip, you're going to increase your sensitivity. You increase your sensitivity, you're going to catch more fish, especially Carolina rigging.
There you go.
I like it. I just let him take me down. No, he's coming up. He is really kicking. Oh, nice little jump on him.
Yeah.
Oh, and he throws it.
Oh, Lordy.
I'm so bummed. I don't know that I ever lose fish on a high performance hook. And I had those smallmouth come off, and look at this. He's got it all twisted up. The cool thing about this bait, no matter what they do, is you just rehook it.
Rehook it. Do it again.
Go on. Rehook it. Go on.
Let's catch another one. Good thing about this is that we know there's some more out there.
Yeah, but we want to get them small jaws. These large jaws are like,
they're small.
They've overrun our hole. I don't understand this.
I don't either.
You know, here we pull up here, we get smallmouth, and then all of a sudden it's all large lips.
These large lips are grabbing it before smallmouth can get a hold of it.
That's probably it.
Most of the time the smallmouth are more aggressive, but this time the smallmouth are laying there watching them, letting them get it. We're jerking them right out of there.
That's what I like. I like the jerking them out of there bit.
Yep.
Jerking them out. There he is. I got one.
There you go. Good fish.
Oh, look at him jump.
That's one of them Mississippi smallmouth, man. One of them good ones.
Come on. Look at this guy digging.
He pulled. They'll pull, man.
He's digging.
A good fish. He's not a 5-pounder, but he's a good one.
No, but they fight. Look at this, and look what he did. He ate that little 3X grub.
Yep.
Just hooked him right in the side. This is where, you know, one thing I like, and I didn't ask you about it, but when we're fishing Carolina rigs, goodness gracious. Hang on. All right, there we got him. When you're fishing a Carolina rig, do you prefer a high-speed reel or a low-speed reel?
I like a high speed.
I
Where I
do
can
too.
reel down and get my slack out of the line real quick.
Right, so you can catch up with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is just a wonderful, wonderful fish to catch. They just go nuts. I mean, that first jump was,
He jumped 4 foot.
4 foot. It was great.
Yep. They got attitude, like I said.
Now, what's the biggest stringer you've caught out here?
Well, I've had a good many days of 25 pound, but I had a BFL Redman tournament here in '97. I set the record of 5 smallmouth weighed 27.6.
27.6.
I had a 6'9", a 5'9", a 5'7", a 5'4", and a 4'9". Little heavy rough stuff.
Yeah, how about that one?
All right.
Oh!
Nice little largemouth.
Goodness gracious. He's going nuts. Ah! That's a good largemouth right there. I had to switch though. I had to go to little old centipede to catch him.
Yep.
But you know what's fun is to catch them right out my back door.
Yep. That's
oh,
right.
You got one too?
Yep. It's a pretty good one here, I believe. I don't know. They all good ones. There's some better than others.
Absolutely.
Sporting perfection. Note the proper attire. The deliberate melding of sartorial refinement with the bucolic backdrop of the brook. Nothing less than a classic bamboo for this chap. The dry fly man commits no slovenly affront to his cherished passion, would never deign present his noble quarry with less than a perfectly buoyant recreation in twisted hackle, hare's mask, and yarn. Only one word befits such a champion of the dry fly ideal: purist. We may observe it in the delicacy of the cast, hear it in the whisper of gossamer lines slicing a terminal arc through rarefied air. We see the purest aim and intent in the slow drift of a floating "What the?" Jumpin' Jehoshaphat!
This is crazy, dude. Shrimp in a midge, shrimp in a midge. Why not throw a shrimp in a midge?
Once the prerogative of a self-styled elite, the sport of fly fishing encountered new frontiers in the wide-open promised land of the mythic West. Big rivers and big fish launched a new angling paradigm. Welcome to the stomping ground of the American trout bum.
If you're a fishing guide and you are waiting tables or moving houses or whatever you're doing, the fly fishing guide remains your identity, even in the cold, snowy months. Because if you're good at it, you do it out of a very, very pure place. The other jobs that we've worked are more just to pay the bills and tide us over until it's fishing season again.
Two pitch-perfect representatives of the type, Gifford Matham and Frank Smethurst, abandoned lives in the East for a single shared obsession.
God, look at you.
Yeah.
You're going so old school.
Woo!
The grand ideal of Western trout fishing.
Wet fly fishing, dry fly fishing, you got it all. You choose your weapon and you'll find it works. You just find the fish that wants it.
The favored fishing hole once bore a moniker as elegant as a vintage dry fly pattern. The Beaver Kills Hendrickson Pools, say, or Horsebrook Run. The reverence for good trout water remains, but the names have definitely changed. Case in point, say hello to the toilet bowl.
The toilet bowl is what it is, and in fact, it's an anomaly of sorts because it is a man-made structure. It is the headwaters of a tailwater coming directly out of the reservoir, so that temperature of that water never leaves 42 degrees all year round.
Indelicate the designation may be, but appropriate all the same. The toilet bowl flushes the tank of Rudy Reservoir, home to a runaway population of exotic mysis shrimp. An ecological catastrophe in many respects, these freshwater crawdads have nonetheless contributed to one of the most productive tailwater fisheries in the West.
The entire frying pan offers great fishing. The dam is where people go because, well, first of all, they come to the Taylor Creek Fly Shop, they see the giant fish on the wall in the pictures, and they say, I want one of those. They want to catch some fish, but they wouldn't turn away a chance at a big fish of a lifetime trout.
The presence of the mysis has irrevocably influenced the feeding behavior of the tailwater's dirigible-like rainbows and behemoth browns, and influenced the strategies of the pragmatic trout bum as well.
Tech and camarones. Shrimp in Espanol. 4 different genres of the finest mysis shrimp I know of. These are Charlie Cravens. Deadly, deadly, deadly. A little bit better for when they're flowing downstream and the shrimp have died. After you cook shrimp, they turn white. They're clear at first. And then up here, these are Robs, Rob Calandas. These are clear. This is for like when you're really close to the dam. And then these are my experimental shrimp that are sort of in between. Not all the way clear, not all the way opaque. Every year I try and redefine the mysis shrimp prior to coming to fish, either the tailor or the pan. It's usually a bit of a disaster. I've never really redefined the mysis shrimp. This is the year. This is the year I'm going to change everything. If the Red Sox can win the pennant, Frank Shrimp can finally work. It's big. I don't know if it's fair, but it's big. Huge brown. All right.
Nice brown, Frank.
Hi, buddy. Hi.
Look, Maggie, look. Look at the fish, girl. Look at the fish. Look at the fish, Maggie. Oh, I know. No.
Look at the colors, though. These shrimp just light these fish up. This guy's been in here for a while, huh? Check it out, Giff.
It's a nice slab.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help, girl. Thank you for your help.
This black midge I'm gonna run, they're gonna need a magnifier to see it.
this fly is going to bring out the barracuda-like nature of them. That's how much I believe in this fly. Look how good that shrimp looks. How can fish not want to grab that? Travesty.
Oh, that was a nice big rainbow right there. Yeah, I may have moved him. Saw you.
Here we go. Fish is going back up to the toilet bowl. Look at the bow wave he's pushing upstream. It's like a big bonefish. It's flat. Look at that. Come on back here. Hey, you know what this is, don't you, fish? Oh boy, that was my shot. Now it's gonna be hard. All right, big frying pan fish. Yeah. Ooh, here's some current. God, that's a cool looking fish. His stripe is that wide. That's one of the things that the shrimp really do to these fish. They supercharge their coloration. All the fish that we'll be seeing both on the frying pan and on the tailor are unbelievable examples of their species. You know, so much of the browns are all purple and orange, and the rainbows, as you can see, are super lit up with their red, just from eating the shrimp. I wonder if we ate more shrimp, if they would make us more colorful. So think about it, I might eat more shrimp.
Introduced to western reservoirs from its native range in the Great Lakes region, the mysis shrimp failed to live up to its potential as a food source for landlocked coho salmon. However, the exotic import did prove a boon to a handful of tailwater fisheries, providing a steady protein jolt to the open maws and expansive bellies of ever-indulgent resident trout, and providing as well a prime opportunity for the adaptable fly fisher.
These things come out of the lake in huge numbers, and that's what these fish eat. Gift, what are these things supposed to taste like?
Shrimp.
Oh.
Did you eat it?
Yeah.
You're insane.
Wasn't that good? There's brook trout in here, lake trout, rainbows, browns. There's a few Colorado River cutthroat and other cutthroats. Yeah, you name it, it's in here. And it all eats shrimp.
And those fish tend to really have that high protein diet. They get large, and I mean large. You know, you can have, they look like footballs. More like a rugby ball, actually. and they're about 20 inches long and 18 inches around. You know, that's almost a cylinder. There's some monsters lurking up there, but there's also just a lot of fish. And that's why people will go up there, come back and say, I caught so many fish, I lost count. I hear that all the time.
Catch the beast. Oh, so kind. Right there.
He was in the mouth.
No, I saw him come up with it here.
You know what happened is another fish tried to eat that other shrimp. Saw him get all squirrely next to him. The long arm of the...
Nice net. No, I saw him come up shaking his head. It's one thing that happens with these fish. A lot of times they transfer the fly from one place to another.
This is a greenback brown trout. Greenback. You've heard of the greenback cutthroat? That's the greenback brown trout. How's that moldy coffee?
Tastes funny. Here.
I'm scared of that.
You don't want to have a taste of it? It's really warm.
I'm good.
It's good luck.
No. So what'd you do today? Oh, I stood on the toilet bowl for 5 hours
For the fly rodder who puts angling above attitude, the contents of the toilet bowl are anything but unpleasant.
The technical aspects of those fish is, yeah, they have, that's not the first fly they've ever seen. And they will refuse. I mean, you have these fish turn and follow your fly for 2 feet and then turn away. And you're looking at a size 22 black midge with gold ribbing versus red ribbing. Well, they weren't eating the gold ribbing, so you took the same fly, a size 22. That's like smaller than most of the splinters people get. And they'll eat the one with the red wire. You know, for some reason, that's how choosy they can be. You know, when you're throwing 30 different shrimp out there, you got to get it right one time, right?
If these fish hate my shrimp.
This is more like it. It's one of them $30,000 fish.
Is it in his mouth?
Pretty close.
Yay!
All right, so you guys are warming up a little to me, huh? That's good. I'm glad to hear that. It's awfully nice of you guys to get happy. Okay. I got them wired.
Already predicated on obsessive levels of fishing, Frank and Gift's friendship reached a new plateau when they landed the title at Fly Fishing Masters.
Putting Frank and me together in a fishing contest, I had to apologize to both the fish and the competitors.
A one-of-a-kind angling elimination contest. The Masters pits 200 two-angler teams against one another through 4 regional qualifiers until a single pair of hard-bitten trout hunters reign supreme.
The reason we won this thing wasn't because of skill, it was because of poverty. Giff and I had less money than anybody else in it. That's why we won. Those guys are nice, but we're poorer.
Yeah, they got real jobs. The Fly Fishing Masters is a game. You had to play against other players. And there's someone there to have to make plays throughout the entire contest. I mean, from beginning to end. And you wouldn't really realize they were big plays until you look back on it like, ooh, how important was that?
I can't change my fish much better.
No, you got a 22, baby.
You can.
But what happens if I just catch a bunch of 16-inchers now?
Well, then you'd be a jerk. You know, although I learned a ton, I gotta tell you, I had a great time.
Yeah.
I had such a good time doing it. Even if it was stressful at times.
So fun.
It was as good a fishing trip as you could ever go on as far as the challenges and the people and, you know, having fun with Giff. That was so good. You have no idea how good that was. That's why we get better, is because, you know, we're exposed to these other people that raise the bar in their way.
So good.
So we have to hopefully
But you can't
meet
forget that we're just fishing.
Yeah.
Is brought to you by the next Ford F-150. Built Ford.
I almost relish the days I can fish the frying pan because I'm in my boat so often during the summer. I hardly ever get a chance to stand in the frying pan and guide. During the Green Drake hatch, I love the book days on the frying pan because I'm usually down in the lower reaches of the Roaring Fork River in my hide dory, throwing big flies and hoppers and things like that, which is great fun, but it's not as much fun as throwing a single dry fly to rise and fish on the frying pan.
Yes. Yeah, here we go. It's a slab, and it's in the mouth. Nice! Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Oh, man, I've wanted to hook one of these fish in this spot for so long. I don't know if he's on the shrimp. And there's backing. Oh, he's on the midge. He ate the voodoo. Unfortunately, on 7X. I continue to be challenged by difficult places, difficult fish. You know, continuing to remain stealthy is also a very big challenge. Because when you're talking about stealth, you have to really, really have an understanding of not only exactly where the fish are, but exactly what they can and cannot feel or see or sense. If you don't understand that, you'll never get close to the fish that you're trying to catch.
Oh, this fish is massive.
Or by the time you begin casting, that fish is gone.
Come here, sweetheart. I'm not gonna hurt you. Definitely want to look at you, though. Come on down here. It's shallow. Yes! Woo! That ruled. Thank you. Look at that. I worked on her and worked on her and worked on her, and Giff had worked on her forever, and we tried her this morning and she just wouldn't go, and this afternoon was a different deal once those midges started coming off. Oh, she's so beautiful too. God, what a zeppelin. I love fishing. See, this is my dust and lint box. You know, Colorado really is the small fly state. Our flies can be so small, so small. And this, the one I caught her on, is this teensy tiny little midge. It's kind of got a gray head and a stripped peacock quill body, and just the teeniest little hint of crystal flash there at the top. Doesn't look like much, but hey, it looked like enough, I guess.
Like many who attain total immersion in the holy pursuit of fish, Gifford has followed an angler's trail full circle, from the river to the sea and back again.
I've always been the guy to say trout are for clients. And now I find that saltwater fishing and trout fishing, they're just two great ways to enjoy a day of fishing, fly fishing specifically. You'll find that the saltwater fly fishing will really hone your skills for long distance casting, accuracy, and trout fishing tends to really precision your accuracy casting, I find. You need to really put it more in the teacup.
I fly fish all over the place, but it's still trout fishing that is at the very, very center of the sport for me. I love to fly fish in the ocean. I love to fly fish in big rivers, in lakes, you name it. I love fishing for everything, but day in, day out, really, really good trout fishing is probably me at my happiest and doing what I do best.
The eras may change and the archetypes evolve, but the passion for cold streams and big trout remains. And that is the purest angle on the water.
If you're using small aquatic insects, we have to use slow-moving retrieves like this, because that's the insect that you're emulating, is one that moves very slowly in the water, and actually when they get in that top zone, they're hardly even moving at all. We have to move our fly to stay in the zone, so if you use little slow pulls like this or a hand twist like this, and bring it back slowly like this, but you're only going to bring it back 3 or 4 feet. By that time, the fish will have dropped down below the
Zones 2, 3, and 4 are other subjects Denny looks into in other editions of Fly Fish TV. Fly Fish TV is brought to you by Fly Fishing and Tying Journal, a compendium for the complete fly fisher.
Oh, it's a beauty, too. That's a nice rainbow. Ooh. Wow, that's a nice one. Man, they'd be loving that ginger nymph. Hold still, buddy. Come on. Oh, it's not a big rainbow. Oops. There's probably about a 6-pounder, and I got the hook out. And take a look at that beautiful rainbow. It's a male. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the white tip fins on it. That's pretty cool. I think he's ready to go too. Hey, he slipped around behind me. Man, I'm telling you, these are trophy trout of a lifetime here in Russia, and it's just unbelievable. And everybody on the trip's doing good too, and that's what even makes the trip better.
Cabela's Outfitter Journal continually strives to take you to some of the finest destinations in the world. This week, we're in far eastern Russia, just south of Siberia and the Arctic Circle. Our adventure began in Portland, Oregon, where we boarded a plane bound for Anchorage, Alaska. Once in Anchorage, we changed planes and headed east over the Bering Strait and into Petropavlovsk, Russia, on the Kamchatka Peninsula. It was in Petropavlovsk where we loaded 2 weeks' worth of gear onto a converted Russian military helicopter and set off on a 2-hour ride deep into the pristine Russian wilderness. We sat down on the banks of the Kapushka River, possibly one of the finest rainbow trout fisheries in the world. Joining us on this adventure is Team Cabela's and fly fishing legend, Jim Teeney. Also joining us is veteran angler and Team Cabela's Wayne Nelson. Paul Allred will be our guide as we spend the next 8 days floating and fishing our way down the Kapushka River. We'll float nearly 20 miles in the upcoming days, fishing some of the world's finest waters.
So what do you think of that, Jim?
Well, I think we had bear in camp.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
3 of them.
Yeah, sow and 2 cubs, and she's not really worried about us, and she's not leaving. She's just kind of feeding and working around.
Yeah, she's hungry. I don't know what that is. She's eating the tall, these tall flowers right here, wasn't it?
Well, this is fun. It's a great way to start this trip in Russia, you know, and man, we're in country that very few people ever see.
This is true wilderness, no question.
Absolutely. Let's go down and catch a fish.
We're fishing on the Kapushka River, a 68-mile stretch of water in the heart of the Kamchatka Peninsula. The Kapushka is one of several rivers in the area, each of which offers anglers world-class opportunities at rainbows, steelhead, char, and salmon.
Man, this is a wild fish, Jim. Yeah, I could use the help. Let's go over to this shallow spot right here, Jim.
That's a dandy.
He's real deep.
Maybe Paul can help you.
That's a big one.
It's a beautiful fish.
He's got shoulders. He's football.
Good fish, Wayne.
All right, that's a dandy.
Nice little carbon copies.
That's a beaut. I like that one.
Let me get that fly out of there.
That's a really great fish, Wayne. That's a beautiful rainbow. The spots and everything. Good fighter, too.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more from the Kapushka River in Kamchatka, Russia, next on Cabela's Outfitter Journal. Cabela's Outfitter Journal is brought to you by Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter. To Cabela's Outfitter Journal. We're in Kamchatka, Russia, fishing for big rainbows with Jim Teeney and Wayne Nelson. 15 years ago, this trip would not have been possible, as the Soviet-era government maintained sensitive naval stations nearby and kept this entire region strictly off-limits to foreigners. Now, this beautiful country is open to travel, and sportsmen worldwide are able to enjoy world-class fishing in a pristine environment.
My first trip over here was in '93, and we were allowed to come over to Kamchatka. And before, it was a very restricted area, and no Americans were ever allowed over here. So it's been really fun to have been over here. This is my 5th trip, and I've experienced some of the most unbelievable wild trout fishing that you could ever imagine. And I've caught these big rainbows up to 32 inches and had an absolute great time. You know, they look like steelhead, they're fat, they're strong, they're wonderful. So if you get a chance, come to Russia.
Now is that a rainbow?
Might be, but I'm not sure yet. It's a nicer fish. I think it's a nice char. That's a dandy. They're beautiful fish, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. And they are so good to eat. That's all I'm saying.
No, they are. You know, and they're plentiful,
That's
too.
a nice one.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Will you
good
let him
fish.
go for you? Or?
Sure, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, he took that fly,
the black one.
The black one. I think they're feeding on smolt
there you go.
And eggs. Woo, come here, buddy.
Oh, look. Oh, that's a dandy. What's that, about 4 pounds or close?
I'd say somewhere
3?
in the neighborhood.
Maybe 3?
3, something like that?
Yeah. Thank you.
There we go. Looks like a dandy rainbow. You don't give them a chance to rest. Means normally you can get them in quicker, and quicker is better when it comes to catch and release.
It's a beautiful looking water here and a nice run.
There we go. What a beautiful fish. Boy, now here's a Kamchatka rainbow. Beautifully marked. Get that mouth out of his jaw and let him go here. Even with the barb pinched down, sometimes it's hard to get that hook out. Let's get him back in the water. What a beautiful fish. And he's gone. I'll give you a tip when mouth fishing for rainbow. You want to make sure you get, after you catch a fish, squeeze the water out of it good and put on a good floatant. You want to keep them on the surface as much as you can. The fish will hit them when they're underneath. But every now and then you have to take time out, put on more float and put it on real liberally.
Oh boy, here's something.
That looks like a bull. He's going nuts.
I don't know. It is going nuts. I don't think it's a big fish, though. Let's see. What are you? Well, it's a bow. Man.
That's amazing when you can catch a fish that size and it's not even average.
I know.
Man, anywhere else you'd be tickled pink with that fish.
Oh, absolutely. Look how fat it is. Look at that, it's built like a tuna. Huh. Oh, you know what? On any given day, if you got a rainbow like that, you'd be just pretty darn happy. Thank you, fish.
With another successful morning of fishing behind them, our group gathers on a small beach near camp to enjoy a good hot meal and the camaraderie of their fellow travelers. After lunch, the group breaks camp and pushes a little further on, seeking new waters and grand adventure on their Kapushka River float. Cabela's Outfitter Journal is... Welcome back to Cabela's Outfitter Journal. One of the real joys to this adventure is getting to know the local people and their culture. The Russian people have been warm and friendly hosts, and we're already looking forward to future trips when we can meet back up with our new friends and the excellent fishing here in Kamchatka, Russia.
I just put on one of a teeny natural number 6 egg-sucking leech. It's got a little bit of an orange head on it. We'll see what happens with that. There he is, fish on. That's a nice rainbow. Man, this guy is shaking his head a lot. Look at that beautiful red stripe on him.
Hey, Jim, is that a big bull?
Oh, it's a big one.
Where'd he go?
Yeah, it's a beautiful fish. Nice red stripe. Very, very, very trophy rainbow trout and wild, 100%. This is a beauty. Oh. Wow, isn't that a lunker? Well, look at the size of that fish. Isn't that a dandy? Look at that rainbow. Man, isn't that a... This is our teeny leech. And it's doing the trick. And I got my barb down, so there it is. But isn't that a beautiful rainbow? I'll put it back now. There we go, fish. You know what I got here for equipment is that this is a really high quality reel made by Cabela's. It's called the SR series. There's SR 1, 2, and 3. This being the smallest in size, balances real well with their travel rod. This is a 6-weight in a 5-piece, so it's a really nice takedown travel rod. And what I've got matched up to it is our teeny mini tip line, which has 5 feet of very fast sinking tip. And I'm fishing a short leader, maybe 4 feet. And I'll show you what I'm using, and this is what I just caught a nice rainbow on. This is our teeny leech. We call it the egg-sucking leech because we use orange thread to make the head. It's a size 6, and I would assume that the rainbow thought this was maybe a minnow or a bait fish or small smolt. But anyway, it was great, so we're gonna try to catch some more.
There he is.
There he is, fish on. That should have been awesome.
That looked like a pretty good bowl when it came out of the water. Man, this guy's wanting no part of this. Oh yeah, that's a dandy. Boy, now there's a good example of what you expect to catch when you come to Russia up here and fish this area. Just look at that fish. This Chamkatka area up here in Russia is just filled with these kind of fish right here.
There he is. Fish on. Trying to bring him right up here. Just trying to get him on his, if I can just get him on his side a little bit. Well, that was lucky. Lost a good spot right now. See, they're just such good swimmers. Now, isn't that a big fish? Looks like a steelhead, doesn't it? Come on. Come on, baby. Just not gonna hurt you. Yeah. Now, that's a prize rainbow. Anybody's, oh, I can't even hold his tail. Look at that fish. I think in here's a ginger. Let me look. Yep. There it is. It's a ginger number 4 teeny nymph. And that's a healthy trophy fish. What a dandy this one is. I mean, anywhere in the world you could go, you might not get a rainbow this nice. And how special it is to be here in Russia to catch them. What a great trout that one is. Thank you, fish.
It's been an excellent trip to the Kapushka River in Kamchatka, Russia. We've experienced world-class fishing, met great people, and enjoyed some of the finest scenery in the world. For information on fishing in Russia, contact Uzel Expeditions at 1-800-825-8196. Stay with us, and we'll be right back with more from Cabela's Outfitter Journal. Check out our website at cabela's.com/TV. Next week on Cabela's Outfitter Journal, we'll take you to northern Manitoba with Team Cabela's MD Johnson for smallmouth on Canada's Winnipeg River. Then we're off to Almer Lake in Canada's Northwest Territories with Team Cabela's Mike Scobie. We'll target lake trout in this remote region just south of the Arctic Circle. Next week on Cabela's Outfitter Journal.
That's an actual underwater recording of shad minnows being attacked and eaten by bass. The amazing Biosonics fish attracting system with patent BSX sound technology produces natural bait fish sounds that not only attract fish, but stimulate aggressive feeding behavior. Biosonics, it's helping me catch more fish, and it will you too.
Bomber.
Most realistic looking crawfish lures. And you know something? These little critters are loved by all. People love them, animals love them, birds love them, and so do reptiles. And you can be sure that these critters really love them. Call him a crawfish, crayfish, crawdad, or mudbug. He's quite a delicacy to so many. Anytime you're fishing in heavy cover, what you can do to make this little guy weedless is to use one of these little stick guards on it. It's soft plastic, it's extremely weedless, but it doesn't affect your hook set.
Oh,
strong little rascal. It's got to be a small. Look at him. Here he comes. Boom, there he jumped. I love catching these things. Come on back here. Come on back here, pretty thing. All right, easy. I see that big old orange crawfish hanging in your face. Now, it's important to remember that each river, big or small, is going to have its own course, contour, speed, and configuration. But there are many features that are common to the majority of rivers you fish. The current flow or speed dictates the key locations of fish, and anglers should concentrate their time and effort fishing areas that provide some form of relief from the strong direct currents. And some of those places most likely to hold bass could be cover located in the midstream of the riverbed that either deflects or slows the current speed. Okay, tell you what, let's look at a few. It could be a submerged treetop, a stump, boulders, a ridge or bar, a long point that extends way out underwater, or even a deep hole on the floor of the river. Places of this type give the bass the comfort of slower water and a super ambush point for prey as it moves by. You know, I think the reason I love moving water as much as I do is because that's where I got my first taste of bass fishing, wading and walking along the banks of the small streams and creeks in Middle Tennessee. In fact, today, I catch myself going back to fish these memorable little fisheries quite often. In fishing a river, it's not uncommon during the fall of the year for large shad migrations to move out of the main river system up into the tributaries. And when this occurs, it's very common for bass to follow. In recent years, I've had some of my best success in places of this type. What's really surprising is the size of the bass that can be caught there. So anytime you're fishing a river system that harbors shad and the water temperature begins to turn chilly, it's smart to check out the tributaries. Good night. You're a strong little rascal, you. Look at that. All right, easy. Just want to show off, don't you? Open that mouth. There we go. Well, there we go. Nice little fish. Pretty colored job. Yep. See ya.
Miles an hour. The trick now is to use that speed for you instead of against you. Now, I understand you used to throw javelin in school.
I did.
Now, what's the secret in javelin throwing?
Don't use bamboo, but you wanted to keep it on the same plane and then drive straight through to the target.
Same thing applies when you're throwing distance casting. You want your right hand to track perfectly straight, drive straight back whoosh, to the target.
Nice. So they're the basics of a long cast. If it's not tracking straight, just remember the last time you threw a javelin. When we come back in half an hour, Tim's 2 cents. We are back on Ray Just Casting Pond. When we left you last, Tim was showing us how to throw it into the next county. But Tim, everyone knows that if you want to catch fish, you got to be able to put the fly on their nose. So you got any tips for accuracy?
Yeah, you know, it's really tough when you're trying to cast and your arm is away from your body. It's really hard to line the shot up. So what I tell people to do is put your hand in front of your body, almost like you're throwing a dart. It helps you line up the shot.
You make it look so easy. Do you think I could ever do that?
You know, even you can succeed in accuracy casting. Just remember, it's just like throwing a dart. All you need is lots of practice and a beer in your hand.
The beer in your hand.